Good evening. Here's an update of Shomen to date. Alright, since the last video, you can see that I've added background. Mainly, I've put in the very low relief mountain in the background. I have put in some plants, mainly trees with flowers on the trees. I'll get those cleaned up at some point, but I needed to get them in. I also put in a small snow cap, and I also put in some trees for the lake shore, and I also put in a temple that sits in the middle of the lake. I need to cut the leg away from the wood and carve in behind it and clean that up. That goes all the way up to the rear thigh and front thigh. I will cut back cuts behind the temple and the trees as well to give them depth. And I will put in a few more details on the trees. I will also have to cut out the back of the head from the back of the carving as well, but I won't do that until later. You can also see that I rounded and cleaned up the calligraphy at the top. This is the customer's logo. The logo actually starts here, puts a dot in the middle with this kanji character set. This kanji character reads I, Ki, Do, Yo, Shin, Kai. And then this is going to be WSW, which is New South Wales. This kanji over here is, I forgot what it reads, Hyojo something, I think, I'm not sure, but don't quote me on that. But the kanji is correct, so at least we got that. I am now going to proceed with moderate detail of these two characters, which means that I will get it ready for super fine detail, which means that I'll have to have it all worked out. I will start to get these to the exact depth that I want, which is within an eighth of an inch of what it currently is. I will hack off parts that are unnecessary, like the back of this hand, the inner part of the arm. I will open this hole up that's in here now and make it larger to define the arm. I will make back cuts behind the back and the upper body, the neck and the head, to show that he's not actually on the ground yet. I will create more wrinkles that set this garment falling straight down from a stretch point. I will clean up the dogi and then also cut in the face. Once I'm there, I'll be doing super fine detail, but I'll do some of that work as well on the leg, fleshing out the foot. The foot looks pretty fleshed out, but it's not, because this is the toe and this is the big toe, so this has to be slanted down. This part of the leg is should be deeper than the heel, so some of that needs to be fleshed out. I'll put in more wrinkles, I'll get in the calf, and I'll stretch this garment out a little further to define the leg. I'll also try to get some facial features in, or at least some preliminary drawings, as well as up here. At that point, I will start on the fingers and the other fine details. I will, of course, at this stage, remove these and start some of that cleanup as well. At the very end, when super fine detail comes, I will put in the tatami mats and those lines that exemplify the mats. So one last thing, you can see that when I cut this, I sanded most of it down, but you know, some parts are a little ragged. So what I'm going to do to reattach these guys is I'm going to find the best part in the back of these pieces to put in a dowel pin, and I'll cut some basswood from pieces that came from this carving so that there's a perfect color match even though you won't see it. And I'll apply a few dowels in places that you can't tell from the front. So here, maybe here, here. There'll be places on this part where you'll never be able to see the dowel, and I'll put them in and I'll line them up on the carving so that they're attached very strongly, so that if you were to brush up against it, you will not break it free. You wouldn't be able to break it free if I just glued it either, but it's better to be safe. So I'm going to use dowel pins for both pieces. And yes, some of the background here will be covered, but that was as I expected. So I'll be applying it in specific spots to lock it in place. But because of this piece being flat, I will cut some of this away so that there will be a very clear definition of depth. So I'm proceeding forward, and we'll just keep at it. Thanks.